After the Reconstruction era, railroads were built across the South. Railroads became a new efficient way to travel. The first railroad came to Greenwood in the early 1880s, connecting the Greenwood Railroad to Greenville. Hodge's Depot was created in Greenwood. Many people started using it for travel and shipping goods across the country. In doing this, the railroad helped Greenwood's economy and population grow.
Jackson Station turned a small rural southern town into a bustling center for entertainment and trade. Jackson Station, formerly known as Hodge's Depot, has a historically significant past. Hodge's Depot began as a general store in Hodges, South Carolina. After establishing the train depot in Greenwood, South Carolina, the Greenville and Charleston Company quickly discovered their need for a midway stop between Greenwood Station and Greenville. Hodges Depot became this stop. Hodges Depot became a historical train station. It was rumored to be the place of Benjamin Tillman's first election speech. Benjamin Tillman was known as Pitchfork Tillman. He built his campaign on a white supremacy platform while running for governor of South Carolina.
Now we will hear from Dr. Harrison, the author of Live at Jackson Station.
And so that was another nice little anecdote.
Yeah.
I just know that the Ben Tillman speech, it was like one stop, among many that he did around the state. But it was kind of cool that of all the places that he would go in South Carolina, Hodges
Depot.
was one of those
That's
stops.
very cool.
According to the book Greenwood County, A History, Hodges Depot was often referred to as Sin Center and a hellhole, where violence was not uncommon. At Hodges Depot, 4 different murders occurred through its time as a train depot. Amiza Payton, a black man, was shot for no reason by Reuben Golding. In 1866, Payton was trying to get food from the store when Golding began yelling at him. Payton reached for his pocket and Golding shot him. Hodges Depot was also the place of the assassination of Benjamin Randolph. Benjamin Randolph was a black South Carolina senator from Orangeburg and was a member of the General Assembly. Randolph was also an activist for the Freedmen's Bureau and local schools. Randolph came to Abbeville, South Carolina to deliver a speech and stopped at Hodges in order to board the next train. As he was exiting the train, he was shot by 3 white men who fled the scene. Despite there being multiple witnesses, no one knew what had happened or who the 3 assassins were.
Store is now. The depot used to be kind of catty corner to that.
Okay.
And then when Gerald bought the depot for $1, he actually moved it to the family property, which is out of the highway.
Yeah.
But Benjamin Randolph had been assassinated by some members of the KKK, and he was a very outspoken African American, part of the Freedmen's Bureau, and so on and so forth. So that was definitely kind of a politically motivated, attack.
Hodges Depot closed its doors in 1965 and ceased operation as a train station. It was bought by 2 openly gay men, Gerald Jackson and Stephen Bryant. They worked for several years to turn it into the lively Southern blues bar described in the book Live at Jackson Station by Daniel Harrison. Jackson Station was a popular blues club frequented by young adults in the upstate.
The people that I spoke to said that it was a very mixed crowd there, and that Jackson Station didn't really know race or class or gender or sexual orientation, and Gerald was known for welcoming anybody and everybody there, and everyone was treated as an individual and with dignity and respect.
On April 7, 1990, Gerald Jackson was attacked in the parking lot of Jackson Station by a man named Terry Stogner. Stogner hit him in the head with an axe, leaving Gerald Jackson permanently disabled. Jackson Station closed permanently shortly after the attack on Gerald Jackson.
Would like a definite timeline for opening the bar between the boarding and the closing of the bar. Do you know that?
A definite timeline? Well, he purchased the depot in 1975 for $1, and then it took him 3 years with his boyfriend Steve to renovate the place because it had been dormant for about 10 years.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so they fixed it up, and it was open on Halloween in 1978.
Yes.
And then they had their first music show in 1982, and then Gerald was attacked in 1990, and then he was paralyzed. I mean, he was quadriplegic, and he obviously couldn't run it anymore. And then the two other principals of the place, Steve, his longtime boyfriend, companion, he wanted to be with Gerald, and so he can really run the bar. And Gerald's mother, she wanted to be with Gerald as well, and so who is left to kind of run the place? They had to shut it down, but they still own the property, and so Gerald's mother would rent it out to a few other people. And they tried. They tried mightily, and they actually got many of the same acts would play. But it missed that special something. And that was Gerald. He had that charisma, and he would talk to anybody. He'd remember who you were, and he'd remember what you ate and what you drank, and just make you feel at home. And also, he made women in particular feel very at home and very safe. That was
awesome.
Cool thing that I really learned. Another neat thing that I learned about doing the story is how safe women felt going to Jackson Station, because Gerald would and you can go there by yourself.
Which is amazing because women normally can't.
And they don't. And I talk about gender violence kind of issues in my sociology classes, and all these ladies, college students are like, oh, I'm petrified of going out after dark, and I just think it's so sad that you're basically living in a prison for like half of the day.
It is true. That is definitely true. It's very good to know that he was open not only to minorities and anybody of anything, but also gender wise. That is amazing. That is awesome.